Yes, people, welcome to the Real Talk Football TV Premier League debate show. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Tobias, myself, Shaq, 4-3, Bayern 4, Man United 3. Tobias, does that mask over the cracks? Because what I saw, it felt like an elite Champions League team versus a mid-table Europa League team. That's what it felt like when I watched it.
Bro, Bayern didn't get out first gear. Really, they didn't play
Shambles.
well.
I think Man
Given the
United are
fact
shambles.
that we scored 3 goals, and it's just even when they give you hope, the hope gets diminished within like 2 minutes. Are you going to score and then just concede straight away?
Does Ten Hag need to take some blame because his substitutions are a bit iffy?
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
know. Iffy in what way? Which ones?
bringing on Martial, what's Martial really going to do, bro?
Yeah, but
McTominay.
Hoyland legs are gone. That wasn't. He couldn't run no more. You could see it. So I would have, to be fair, I would have preferred to start with Martial over Hoyland, really, because it's like you're throwing people like Hoyland and Pelestri into the deep end.
Yeah, but you got to, the performance last week against Brighton was terrible, so they had to play, and he spent like £80 million on him. So you got to give him games somehow. So I understood that,
Yeah,
but
Hoyland started that game as well, though.
I know, but you still need to give him a run of games
Yeah, he
because
needs to get a run of games.
yeah,
But
because we know what Martial could do. Martial is sometimish. He's been sometimish for 8 years. He's a
yeah,
9 1 week, and he's not going to give you nothing anyway. Especially if you need a guy who can work up front and maybe need to run the channels and hold the ball up and twist and turn and nick fouls. To me, Martial's not your guy to do that because he's just going to get frustrated. He's going to show his stupid face, and then it's just gonna go peak and eventually end up coming off injured or something like that. That's what Martial does.
But this is it though. But I get that. But in terms of we've been waiting this long for Martial since last season to get fit. He now seems to be fit. Hoyland's just come in. He hasn't played. He's been injured. Breed him in slowly. Yeah, he played against Brighton. That was a 90 under his belt. You know Martial isn't going to last a game. Give him the last 30, and then he goes again against Burnley, doesn't he?
Tobias, what is your love affair with Martial, bro?
It's not love affair though.
Bro, you flipping mask over his cracks for years.
You're not getting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. At the end of the day, you're looking on a loser anyway. No one was confident that he was going to win the game anyway. You're away at Bayern. Like, there's certain, for me, you don't just throw it's like Pelestri. Like, yeah, he could have played against Brighton. Didn't because of the international thing, whatever, traveling, etc. But I don't feel like that's the scenario in how we are at the minute in terms of confidence and to just throw them players in like that. In the deep end, yeah, you can talk about the money. Hoyland's still unproven. It was debut in the Champions League. It's far from proven. Is there not a chance of what instead of as soon as he's fit, just throwing him in, playing every game?
Yeah, I agree to an extent. I don't think you should be blaming Hoyland and Pedestri. Like you said, throw him into the deep end. I understand all of that, but my problem is that your main guys, your guys who experience your seasoned pros, your Rashfords, Casemiro's, Fernandes, especially Rashford, where you want a talisman to carry the can of Man United, he should be carrying the can. And the thing is as well, it was set up for Man United to hurt them. And I think Man United did get in certain areas what were good. But it was
problems.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But this was Ten Hag's bread and butter. Your team's set up to counterattack. It's been set up to counterattack for years. And you've got the pace on the counter, especially Rashford. And to me, he went missing. I just think he didn't want it with Alphonso Davies. There was a part in the second half where he could have turned the burners on, and Alphonso Davies just turned the burners on, and Rashford didn't turn it on because he knew he was going to get blew out. And to me, it felt like he didn't want to be a meme, bruv.
No,
like stuff like that. He didn't. I need to see more from these guys, bro. I need to see more from these guys.
He played against Lema, didn't he? He didn't play against Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, but the second half,
I would have
came on the outside.
Yeah, later on, wasn't it? It was later on. But however, if we go back to the starting lineup, if he's been playing Garnacho the way he was, it would have made more sense given that the attributes of Davies and really want the pace down that side to make Davies think twice about attacking. That he played Rashford on the right. But and Garnacho on the left. But that's either here and there. The problem mainly is that there's no cohesiveness. Like, we don't hunt in packs. As a defensive unit, we're just too open. Like, there's a lot of emphasis on Casemiro. But if someone skips past Casemiro, where is someone? There's no one anywhere near him. So he's got no support. We don't hunt in packs. We're just disjointed all over the place. Like, we're not a solid unit. We don't move as one. We don't do nothing. Like, it's
So
just,
whose fault is that then?
well,
Because to me, that's your manager. Your manager's been there long enough. He's been there long enough, and he still can't get you into a solid unit. Like, he's one of the main problems. He's the biggest common denominator. Is Ten Hag, and somehow for me, he's going under the radar. Like, he's been poor. He's been poor, like, especially this year.
He's been going out, yeah, but this year just started though. Don't get me wrong, it's been terrible for start of the season. It's been horrendous. But he can hide behind many things. However, he's been terrible. First season he was good. So yes, he started how it was, and you're just basically saying it's top 4 now. And if he doesn't get that, then again you look at it and say, again, it's been terrible. But so he's climbing. I think it's too early now, given the injuries, etc. I don't think we've seen the best side. Don't get me wrong. There's still a question mark about the pattern of play. His decision making in certain areas, it doesn't make sense to me. But
okay,
go on.
No, but I'm saying pattern of play. He's been there for like
I've said it
over 18 months. He still doesn't have a pattern of play. You're still a counter-attacking team. All the way back from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, still counter-attacking team. He should have put his philosophy in by now. You look at Brighton, you look at De Zerbi, you can see what they're trying to do. And personally, if I was Man United, I hope you don't do it because I wanted to be Liverpool manager next when Klopp goes. De Zerbi is right there. You know, Brighton let go people if the price is right. Personally, I think you should do it before somebody else comes in for him. Because if you put De Zerbi with a club what's got serious money with his pattern of play, I think that's an elite manager. That I don't think Ten Hag's elite, and I don't think he'll ever be elite.
There's question marks about Ten Hag. They can't hide from it. Given that you're losing 3 consecutively with 3 or more goals, so that's the damning stat. And last year we wasn't conceding goals. This year we're conceding goals but not scoring goals. And last year we wasn't scoring goals. So then, you know what I mean? Where do you go? We just look hollow. Right now we look hollow, and it's just like, can he blame what? Did he believe he would have had different type of money available to him given the takeover talks? But that's irrelevant and irrespective to me. Like, you had enough money, and you didn't
100%
use it to the best of what you could have. Yeah,
and
you
even
Kim J, who played for he sort of done us dirty. But looking at that, he's probably thinking, "Thank God,
great move."
I mean, so.
But 100%, like you said about the money, I think yes, maybe if you spent it wisely, you might not have challenged, but you were consolidated 3rd place really, and said, okay, next year we could kick on and maybe a title challenge. But the money you've spent, it feels like your team's gone backwards.
It does, but I will add, even though I don't like using it as an excuse because it's terrible when we had them, but once you have the Varans and the Shaws and more the players back, Amrabat starting, maybe we're hoping that we see something different because we can't continue that way.
Bro, you can't rely on these guys. Like,
no, he's not relying on them.
I know, but I'm saying Tobias,
you have to rely on the guys.
But how many times these players have got your managers to sack? Luke Shaw shouldn't be at the club. He's got so many players to sack, many managers to sack.
Listen. You have the players you have, so you have to use the players you have.
Well, you're never going to be where you want to be. Then
these players are here, whether they should not be here or not. Clearly, he should be here because they're giving him a new contract last year.
It's crazy.
So clearly he wants him, and he's going to be here. So relying on him, that's what he said. It's that stall out on. So it's not reliance; it is actual. That's what it is. So it's not relying on it. It's realizing that they're the players we have at our disposal, and they're the better than what I currently see today. So Amrabat makes a difference. Varane makes a difference. Like, yeah, it might not be. At least it will stop the goal tally at least, because obviously they're defensive players. But yeah, I just it's mad. It's
To
just so
me, to me, it just feels like you're just putting a plaster over the actual thing you need to fix. It's just a plaster, and it's just
yeah,
eventually it's going to leak
bro.
out.
Like I'm all for. I agree with what you're saying. There's question marks everywhere, but where like is there question marks over it? How like is he going to be elite? Okay, there may be, but
Mm,
problem is you can't go into a year after investing so much and then tearing it up after the first year. You can't do it
mm,
right now.
mm,
Like it's got to get a lot worse than what it is now, because I'm not being reactionary like that. That doesn't make sense. We're not we're not at City. We're not at City's level at the minute. That's not us now. So you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Our
mm,
expectations too high.
maybe.
Expectations are there because of the stature of United and how much money you spent.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So that's why the expectation's there. But in reality, why is the expectation there?
mm,
You're 10 years with no Prem.
yeah. Never looked like winning it. Mm.
Never looked like winning it. So why are the expectations still there? It's
It's
purely down
Man
to money.
United. Yeah, it's Man
Yeah,
United as well.
it's money and history. But we know
Mm.
how that worked for you lot.
Yeah, straight 30. 30
Do you know
years
what
it
I
took
mean?
us. Yeah.
So you can't live on past now. We are where we are, and you've got to move away from what you've done previously. You invested in all these managers, and then you just cut them out, and then the next manager comes in. It's like you're looking at surgery again, because
Mm,
it's totally. And then you go for a different type of manager that wasn't that direction that you was taking originally.
mm,
So I can't see the Glazers doing it now anyway, because they know it's going to cost them too much money, and and even though the sale they cancelled the sale, it's just they better hope it
it's-
gets better.
mm,
So maybe it's a blessing in disguise, because now you know how it goes in football. When they spent a certain amount of money, and because United finished where they did and got to two finals, whatever, and won a trophy, fans are sort of laying off the Glazer talk.
mm,
Do you know what I mean?
mm,
And if they would have, off the back of the investment, if they would have started the season, which everyone predicted or most people predicted they would have, then you wouldn't be talking about the Glazers.
mm.
You know what I mean? It would have been under the radar. And I think that's what they tried to do. But yeah,
All right.
you're going to
All
get
right.
the Glazers out flags out now. So
No, hey. All right, last bit. If you had £170 million, because I think Musiala was the best player on the planet, best player on the pitch by a mile. I think that guy is different class. If you had 170 mil and you got to buy one player, Bellingham or Musiala, who are you buying?
but then
I-
you know what? Yeah, I don't. Why I say I don't really actually. You can say they are, because I wouldn't have
Because
said that before you went real that Bellingham's the type of player of Musiala.
he's playing
But
in the 10. They're both
but
playing in the
now
10.
at Real Madrid he's playing in the 10, and he's
Mm.
dribbling more, and he can carry.
And he's scoring goals.
It's a bit like the Scholes Gerrard conversation in a way. But
No, but they're both playing in the same position.
at the minute they are.
Different styles, but both playing in the same position.
And just through consistency in terms of, can I say consistency? Or is it just the fact that Musiala has been at a bigger club than Bellingham? That I'd say Musiala.
Mm.
But it's all dependent. Even then, you say versatility.
Mm.
Bellingham can play anywhere in the centre, and
But,
Musiala can play anywhere across the front.
and he
So,
can play. I think he could play anywhere in the center as well.
so yeah, I probably would
It's a,
edge. It's tight though. I would edge Musiala.
I don't think there's no wrong answer, but I think I'll go Musiala. I think Musiala is magic, and I think if Musiala was English, I think they'll be talking about him more than they'll be talking about Bellingham.
Yeah,
I
but
think
to be fair, Bellingham, he can't help the hype surrounding him.
no, but it's always gonna happen, and the hype is real, and
The
that's the
hype
only
is
thing.
real.
That's the only thing about it. It's real, and
And
it's
playing
real.
a 10 role, and you're seeing him doing what he's doing, and doing it at Real Madrid, top
Yeah,
club,
yeah,
like
straight. It's the hardest club on the
hardest
planet.
fans to please
Yeah.
ever. So
Mm.
yeah, you got. I don't know, man. I don't, that's a horrible question, but
Yeah. Hey. All right, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back in a couple of days. Tobias, last word.
Ten Hag in, man. We're going.
Yeah,
We're going
I'm in
again.
as well.
We're going again.
Again. Ten Hag in. Come on, Burnley. We are Real Talk Football TV, and we are out.